Today we're going to talk about projectors. Quick disclaimer, I am not a influencer, cookier, kind of YouTuber. Although I guess since I'm posting this on YouTube, does that make me now a YouTuber? Never mind. Anyways, today we're going to talk about projectors and using them for your cookies, cakes, baking, funness. Again, I'm doing this for fun. Baking is just a passion of mine. I'm a nurse, and I also have a passion for teaching people things. And if you have the interest and I have the knowledge, I love to share that. So first we're going to talk about the very basics, and then I'll show you my setup and talk about the details of that. For your projector, and to use your projector, really you need three basic things. You need a projector, you need something to hold said projector, and you need something to send the message to your projector. That can be a phone, a tablet, or laptop, or even your desktop computer. And even some projectors have the capacity to have SD cards with images inserted into them. And so if you keep that in mind, that the projector can't do much on its own, that you need something to send the image to it and tell it what to do, then it keeps things a little bit more simple. So now that we have that out of the way, let's move over to my setup, and I'll talk to you specifically about how I do things and the things that I recommend as well. But a lot of this advice should work with any projector. And if you have any questions that are specific to your setup and your software, for example, as you can see, I am not using Apple products or running iOS. I am using Windows for everything, and even my phones are Android. However, all these things should translate. And if you have any specific questions, like I said, just drop them in the comments, shoot me a message. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. Facebook can send me a direct WhatsApp. I'm always open to helping out. You can even send me pictures of what you have, and I'll help you get everything set up so that you can start utilizing this really awesome tool. Okay? So without any further delay, let's go ahead and check out my setup and talk about how this projector has really elevated my cooking. Okay, so here we are now at my setup. We talked about the projector in more general terms earlier, and now I'm going to get more into detail. And I'm going to show you some of the things I use and why I recommend them specifically. So let's go through the equipment first. I have the AAXA LED Pico Plus. So this is the box it came in. This is what it looks like. It's about, I would say, $20 or $30 more than the standard original Pico, but I've really enjoyed the wireless mirroring capability, and I'll talk more about that in a sec. But I think that that's definitely worth it, at least for me. It has been for the investment if you're in the market for a projector. I think that that's a feature that's worth looking into. And so I have my LED Pico Plus. The image is going to come out up here, and then we have a nice little control panel. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. The battery on this one's about 2 hours, which I found to be plenty, but I always keep a cable nearby just to make sure I can keep it nice and charged. And so I just turned it on, and of course, since the image is coming out the top, I'm going to have to turn it upside down to project onto my table. Something that's worth noting is that most projectors are going to come set up so that they project this way. They are assuming that you're going to lay it on a table and you're going to project onto a wall that's in front of the projector, because that's a normal way to use a projector. So that means that up is going to be this way or this way. And so if we then turn our projector this way and up is that way, our image is going to come upside down for my cookie. I mean, I guess I could turn it this way to make it right side up, but then I lose access to my controls. But that's an easy fix. Most projectors will have a menu within it that will let you turn the picture, and it'll have random sayings like ceiling up or ceiling down or wall left. Just go through it, change it to exactly what you needed to, put your projector where you're expecting to do it, and change it until your image is right side up. But just a heads up, that's something that you might have to do. So our projector is on. I'm going to go ahead and clamp it onto my clamp here in such a way that I have access to my controls and that it's projecting on my work surface. Now I just have some leftover little cookies from a previous order and some leftover royal icing. Now I use a tablet. This is a Microsoft Surface Pro. It's a couple of years old, but it does the job perfectly fine. What I'm doing now is I'm pulling up a blank Word document. You can do this on Google Docs, Notepad. You can even do it just through the internet and just pull it up. And I am going to, let's see, this is a really tiny cookie, so I'm going to just put a letter on it. So let's put the first letter of my name, which is L. So I'm writing L. I'm going to make it big so that you guys can see it better. And I have a couple of cute fonts downloaded. This one's called Lightning Script. I think it's really cute, but this is the fun part of the projector, is that it really offers you limitless capabilities as far as choosing fonts. This one I think I got on Font. There are a lot of websites out there where you can download free fonts. And of course there are paid fonts as well, but try the free ones first. If you can't find something that you really like, then venture into those paid websites. Another great website for fonts is Creative Fabrica. I'm not sponsored or anything. Please don't think I'm just dropping names for that, but it's just sites that I use that I found useful. So now with the wireless mirroring that I was talking about with the LED Pico Plus, is that I am able to send this image on my screen to the projector and tell it to project it without connecting it with a wire. I liked that because otherwise I would have to find a way to plug it in here and then find a way to plug it in there, find a wire that's compatible. The Pico Plus has a mini HDMI input, so I would have to have a mini HDMI to HDMI, but then I don't have an HDMI on my tablet. So you have to make sure that whatever inputs or output ports, either one, or you have on your tablet can connect to your projector. And if you don't, I promise you there are wires and connectors and transformers out there for every little thing. There's one specific piece that for those that use Apple products that has the mini HDMI or the HDMI converter into from the Pico to your iPad. I've definitely seen that one. That one's about $50. And so you would have to get the Pico if you have the original Pico, not the Pico Plus, and then get that adapter piece to be able to connect it and send that image. Because remember what I said, the projector can't do anything on its own. It's got to have something to project. And so here we are, right? We have our letter that we want to put on our cookie. And Microsoft has a really easy way to start this process, is that it has a function specifically on the menu that says project. If you have a different update of Microsoft, you could possibly just put it in the search bar, type in project, and see what comes up in your settings. But with the latest, this is, I think, Microsoft 10. With the latest update, it's right there. So it gives me some options. It gives me PC screen only, it gives me duplicate, extend, or second screen only. PC screen only is the mode that we're in right now. Duplicate is the mode that we're going to go into, which is the same as mirroring. Think about it, mirror, right? We want whatever is here to be here. And then our next option is extend. We don't want that because that just creates another, it's like having a second monitor. It's like you're telling the computer that the projector is your second monitor. And so we don't want that. And then second screen only would actually take away the image from my computer and just put it on the projector. So I wouldn't be able to easily maneuver it. And so I like having the mirroring. So we want to duplicate. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. Oops, clicked on the wrong one. Okay, project and duplicate. And then I'm gonna say connect to wireless display. This is my wireless display. While that is searching for my wireless display, in the LED Pico Plus has its own menu that pops up once you turn it on. And you use the controls, but they're kind of flipped, so you have to get used to it because I turned around everything. and I'm gonna choose the mirroring option. So I'm gonna scroll and select mirroring, select, there we go. And then it gives me an option for iPhone or Android. I know this is not an Apple product, it's running Windows, so I'm gonna go with Android. And once I select it, the projector is going out and kind of like telling the world like, hey, I'm here, find me, let's connect. So sometimes it takes a little while to find. Make sure you're connected to your wireless network, because that's what's going to connect to everything else. There we go. So it found the Pico Plus. Earlier with my tablet, I don't know why, but for some reason it needs the internet to find the Pico, but then I disconnect it from the internet to connect it to the Pico, and that's the best way it works. Not sure why, but that's just what works for me. So your setup might have its own little quirks, and like I said earlier, if you want to reach out to me, I'm on Facebook and Instagram, all that fun stuff. I'm on TikTok, and send me a message. We can work out with whatever your setup is. So right now we're just waiting for the Pico to connect. So that's successful. Now I can see, actually on my table, I can see Microsoft Word, I can see my page. And then when I move it around, there's my little letter L. I move my cookie underneath it. Oh, you know what? Right now it's just a little too small. And this is why I like to use a tablet and why I recommend to use a tablet. I can very intuitively and very much in real time zoom in or zoom out to adjust the size to make it fit just like I want it on my cookie. There we go. Okay. And actually I found that I like using the projector most of the time without the turntable, because that, especially when I'm writing, because that way things just don't shift around. And then I'm gonna go ahead and start typing. And there we go, cute little letter L. So probably would have been better if I had taken more time and been more a little careful with it, but you know, you get the gist. And now we have our little L on our cookie, and then we can move forward with whatever we need to do. So the zooming in and zooming out, you could do with something that's not touch screen. Definitely you could use your mouse to do it and do it in real time since it's connected to the projector. But I like the ability to do it very intuitively and just be able to make those little micro adjustments. And so if you were starting from scratch, I definitely would recommend that you use that, but know that you can do it even if you don't have a touchscreen device. Something else is that I wanted to mention was the fact that we talked about how some of these projectors have the capability to take SD cards. So you would get your image from your computer, load it onto the card, and then connect it to the projector, and it would project that. That I think is the most tedious option, because then the only way to adjust the size of your image is to physically move the projector up and down, or physically move the cookie up and down. And then if I wanted to make it smaller, I would move it closer to the projector, and then I would adjust my focus. And then now I don't even have time to look at the cookie. I mean, I don't even have a space to look at the cookie and pipe it. You know, and if I wanted it bigger, I would move it farther away from the projector and adjust the focus. That is going to take you longer to do your cookie than even hand piping it, I think. And so if you can opt for using it while it's connected to a device live, I think that would be the best option. You know, because the point of the projector is to make your job easier and to make this process go faster and more enjoyable. Something else that I wanted to mention is it may take a little time for you to be able to adjust your hands and how you're piping so that you are comfortable, and also you're able to see the image, because a lot of us will pipe this way while I'm blocking the image. And so I've learned that the best way for me to pipe is if I'm going under the cookie. And so if I pipe this way, I'm still able to see the image that's coming from the projector. have seen some people that instead of doing that, they adjust how their projector is pointing, and so instead of straight down, they will angle it. I don't like that because it actually warps the image. It will elongate your images. Now, if you account for that, or if you like that, then sure, it works. But I really wanted to stick with having the image as clearly as possible. The advantages to the projector are so many, and I think I can really grow your business. I could place a cake under here and pipe on the cake with the lettering that I want, with the font that I choose from online. If I don't have a specific cookie cutter, I can look up the image on the internet immediately and have it projected on to my cookie dough and cut it out by hand. And so it really is, it's special for like logos and things like that that are very specific that you don't want to mess with. If you have somebody that has a very specific font, companies, for example, will have very specific fonts, very specific, even colors. You could work with color matching because you can look at it directly. And so I think it's really a way to just sort of step up your game and have a lot of fun too, and make this process just have an additional layer of possibilities. So I really hope you enjoyed the video, my first video, only maybe video, whatever. And I hope it's helpful. Like I said, feel free to reach out and we can work on it together and get you set up so that you can have just as much fun as I am with my projector. Bye bye.